Hello everybody, I am G.R. Maskeri presenting you part 4 of electrochemistry chapter of class 12. In the previous classes we have seen electrochemical cells and electrolytic cells, and this part is devoted to conductivity cell. Another important concept of understanding how solutions do conduct, and what important topics that we see in this is what is meant by conductivity. Metals also do the conduction and solutions also do the conduction. What is the difference between that? And as far as chemistry is concerned, we want to find out conductivity of a solution. What is that molar conductivity? A special concept of molar conductivity we are going to see. Then variation of molar conductivity. Do molar conductivity vary with concentration or temperature? All that things. Then Kohl-Rash's law and application of Kohl-Rash's law are discussed in this part. Now we have seen conductivity of metals, non-metals, semiconductor, metals, non-metal like carbon and semiconductor and solutions. Here are the values of conductivity. So sodium, copper, silver, these are all good conductors of the order 10 to the power 3 conductivity value. But as far as solutions are concerned, 0.1 m, 0.01 m, so it is 3.91 and 0.14. It is meager. What is responsible for it? And what are the variations with the concentration of solutions? All these are the part of the study of this particular lesson. Let us try to see the conductivity of solutions, but before that, here is an arrangement to show the conductivity of a metallic wire. A metallic wire is connected to battery. When the battery is connected, this is going to glow. This glow is due to conductivity of electrons through this wire. Right? So this conductor contains kernels, positively charged kernels and mobile electrons, and these electrons are responsible for conductivity of this particular metal. Now coming to the solutions, whether solutions do conduct, for knowing that, so arrangement is like this. So there must be electrodes, and these electrodes are connected to a source. It should be an AC source, alternating current source. If it is not the alternating current, then if it is a direct current DC source, then some chemical change takes place. In order to study the conductivity, we have to connect this to the AC source, and this is how the arrangement for doing the conductivity. So when the light is on, when it is connected, we see that the solutions also conduct. Pure water also conduct very meagerly, but if it is containing a salt, then we find that this is conducting to the greater extent. Now, all these conductivity experiments are done with a conductivity cell which resembles this shape. So here is a conductivity cell in which the solution of which conductivity is to be conductivity or conductance is to be measured or to be taken, and these are connected with two electrodes which are opposite to each other, and this is connected to an AC source. So this is the arrangement of the different things in the conductivity cell. Now, what are the factors that affect conduction of electricity in solutions? Ions are responsible for conduction in a solution. So the mobility, the nature of the electrolyte, size of them, solvation of ions, concentration of electrolyte, temperature, all these are the factors that affect conductivity. Suppose size of the resulting ions, size of the ions are more, then their mobility may become less. And if an ion is undergoes solvation, what is meant by this solvation? Suppose there is a sodium ion. It may be surrounded by some number of water molecules in this way. Oxygen pointing towards sodium ion and the hydrogen away from sodium ion. This arrangement happens because this is the negative end of the polar molecule water. Negative end, oxygen being more electronegative, there exists a dipole moment, and because of that, the dipole attraction, ion dipole attraction, they surround that ions. This is called solvation. Solvation of an ion also affects conductivity values. Temperature. Temperature for a metallic conductor, if you increase the temperature, conductivity decreases. So its conductivity value decreases. But in case of a solution, conductivity increases with increasing temperature. Let us try to see why of all these concepts. Now, what is conductance? Conductance, and conductance, before knowing that, let us see the expressions related to conductance. We know that if a current is passed through a metallic conductor, then resistance R is directly proportional to length of the wire. This is length of the wire, and it also depends upon the area of cross section. This area of cross section of this is inversely proportional to area of the cross section. So this we have the information. Resistance is directly proportional to length. If length increases, resistance increases. If area of cross section increases, then resistance decreases. This is the way it is related. Now, if you suppose make an equation, then there will be a proportionality constant rho L by A. This is called rho, and R is equal to rho by L. And this R is called resistivity. It is called resistivity or specific resistance. Right? Now, this is having the unit ohm meter. Ohm meter. In particular, our resistance is having ohm, okay, resistance, and L by A. L is in meter and it is in meter square, and this will be cancelling out and meter, therefore this will be ohm meter, and here it is R resistance, right? So SI unit is ohm meter for resistivity. For resistance it is ohm. For resistivity, how you can able to define the resistivity? Resistivity is now, this resistivity is equal to resistance when L is equal to A and A is equal to 1 and A is equal to 1. If L is equal to 1 and A is equal to 1, this whole quantity becomes 1, then rho is equal to R. That's how we define a proportionality constant, or in particular here, resistivity is resistance of substance of 1 unit length and having a cross section area 1 unit square. See, this resistance of a substance when it is 1 meter long and it has 1 meter square cross sectional area, then it is called as resistivity. Now, if you modify a little more about, let us take what is conductance. Reciprocal of resistance is conductance. If you take conductance as G, conductance, if you designate this as G, that is nothing but 1 by R. So now this will become reciprocal of this, therefore it is A will go to the numerator and rho and L will be the denominator. You can find that A rho by L. Now 1 by rho, the reciprocal of resistivity is called conductivity. So this is conductivity is denoted by kappa. Kappa into A by L. A by L. Now, if you modify this equation, what we find is conductance is equal to, this conductance is equal to kappa into A by L, or else conductivity is equal to kappa, conductance G into L by A. If you bring here, this A by L will become L by A here. If it is brought here, that means conductivity is equal to conductance into L by A, which is called cell constant. So this is the formula to be remembered for all calculations. Conductivity kappa is equal to conductance into L by A, cell constant. For a conductivity cell, the electrodes may not be kept at 1 centimeter distance exactly. So its value is determined and will be labeled on the conductivity cell. What is its cell constant? L by A will be its cell constant, which will be written on the conductivity cells, right? Now conductivity, what is the unit of conductivity? So conductivity unit is per ohm per meter. Conductivity per ohm per meter, right? So this is the, here for per ohm, yes, also Siemens also is the simplified way that is being designated. Yes, what is molar conductivity? Molar conductivity, we are interested in finding out conductivity due to 1 mole of electrolyte present in any dilution. For this, the arrangement of conductivity cell is different. So, we have to take a conductivity cell which is having 2 electrodes which are separated. 2 electrodes, this is one of the electrodes and this is another electrode, and this distance between them, diameter is unit length, and the area of cross section is large enough to occupy all that solution inside of it. So this is the conductivity cell used for measuring molar conductivity. So definition of molar conductivity goes like this. It is the conductance of 1 mole of an electrolyte kept between the electrodes which are 1 centimeter apart, and area of cross section of them is so large as to occupy whole of the solution between them. This is molar conductivity. Molar conductivity again is dependent upon kappa, that is conductivity, and also concentration of the solution. See here, this is the formula by which you can able to relate molar conductivity denoted as lambda m is equal to kappa into volume. If more is the volume, we find that molar conductivity value increases. More the volume, more will be the conductivity value. So kappa is to be multiplied by volume so that lambda m value you get. So otherwise, if since one mole of electrolyte is present in a definite volume, then we can relate this molar conductivity with molarity also. So kappa divided by molarity, because volume and molarity, they are reciprocally related here, and the units, let us try to see the units of that. Lambda m, the unit is S per centimeter square per mole. This is the unit of lambda m. Lambda m unit is S centimeter square per mole. This is because kappa is having S per centimeter, conductivity per ohm per centimeter, and molarity is in moles per liter. Since liter is a derived unit from centimeter, so this is to be converted in centimeter cube per liter, that is 1000 is to be multiplication factor. So simply lambda m is written as kappa by molarity or concentration, molarity into 1000, where molarity is expressed in moles per liter. The 1000 multiplication changes that into this particular unit. Remember that if it is conductivity, then we have to take a unit cube of a solution. Suppose there is a solution kept between these electrodes which are 1 centimeter apart, and area of this cross section is 1 centimeter square. That means breadth also 1 centimeter, height also 1 centimeter. So conductance of the ions present in unit cube of solution is nothing but kappa. Conductivity is conductance of the ions present in unit cube of a solution, whereas molar conductivity is conductance of 1 mole of electrolyte present in dilution V, kept between the electrodes which are 1 centimeter apart, and area of cross section of the electrode is so large as to occupy whole of the solution between them. Now, what this molar conductivity depends upon? Molar conductivity, molar conductivity, we have seen the units here. Molar conductivity depends upon the concentration. So we have taken a graph in which molar conductivity versus root of concentration is plotted. For an electrolyte like KCl, we find a straight line like this. And also what we find is molar conductivity value decreases as the concentration increases. As the concentration increases, molar conductivity value decreases. Or it can be told in this way, on dilution of a solution, molar conductivity increases. Molar conductivity increases because it may be due to the mobility of ions, which is easily possible on dilution. Therefore, for strong electrolyte in which almost 100% dissociation of KCl into K plus and Cl minus ion is there, it is a straight line, and it will follow an equation which is of the type y is equal to mx plus c, y is equal to mx plus c, and y versus x is being plotted, and therefore this is the slope, and lambda m0 is intercept, and this intercept lambda m0 is called molar conductivity at infinite dilution, when the concentration is almost 0. So that means with infinite volume of solvent, solute cannot be 0, infinite volume of solvent, the value of conductivity of 1 mole of an electrolyte is a constant. So this is molar conductivity at infinite dilution or molar conductivity at zero concentration. It is constant for a particular strong electrolyte, particular electrolyte, and for strong electrolyte it can be plotted by the graph and we can easily find out. Right? So then, if it is plotted for a weak electrolyte like acetic acid, if it is for an acetic acid, if we plot, then it will be a curve like this. And what we find is, on dilution or decreasing the concentration, molar conductivity value steeply increases for a weak acid like acetic acid. What would be the reason for this? For a weak acid like acetic acid, say CH3COOH, this is in equilibrium with the two kinds of ion, that is, one is acetate ion and hydrogen ion. These two ions, number of ions depends, this number of ions depends upon the quantity of the water which is being present, or on dilution, number of ions are more produced, equilibrium shifts or degree of dissociation increases. Therefore, number of ions increases on dilution, because of which the conductivity, molar conductivity value increases. Molar conductivity value increases steeply for the weak electrolyte because of increased degree of dissociation on dilution. So it is not following a straight line. Therefore, limiting molar conductivity or molar conductivity at infinite dilution cannot be plotted. It cannot be plotted. Right? So it should be calculated by Kohlrausch's law. Kohlrausch's law is, by using that, we can able to calculate molar conductivity at infinite dilution of a weak electrolyte also, which cannot be done by graphically. Now what it states, molar conductivity of an electrolyte is the sum of individual contributions of anion and cations of the electrolyte. And suppose if we have NaCl, molar conductivity at infinite dilution of NaCl can be written as ionic conductivity at infinite dilution of sodium ion and ionic conductivity of chloride ion. Since both are present 1 each in the formula, as you can see, this is 1 Na plus 1 Cl. So it is like an individual contribution of sodium ion and chloride ion. So chloride ion may be present along with NaCl or maybe HCl. The contribution due to conductivity of chloride ion remains same. This is what the gist of Kohlrausch's law. So limiting molar conductivity or molar conductivity at infinite dilution of an electrolyte is some of the individual contribution of ions, individual contributions of ions present in the electrolyte. Now this is Kohlrausch's law. This can be generalized for a substance or an electrolyte like AYBZ. This is lambda m0 is equal to y times of lambda A0, because y number are there. Y times of lambda A0 and Z times of lambda m0b. That means ionic conductivity should be multiplied by number of ions as stated in the formula of the compound. So this is important. Okay. So how this is useful in finding out molar conductivity of a weak electrolyte. Let us try to understand about it. Suppose you have to find out molar conductivity at infinite dilution of ammonium hydroxide, which is a weak electrolyte. Say which is a weak electrolyte. Then, for finding out this, we want the molar conductivity values of 3 strong electrolytes, which can be determined graphically. For this, lambda m infinite, that is molar conductivity at infinite dilution of ammonium chloride. Suppose if you are having this molar conductivity at infinite dilution of Na, okay, ammonium hydroxide, ammonium chloride, and HCl, okay, and sorry, NaCl, sorry, this is NaCl and lambda m infinity of NaOH. Suppose if we have the values of these two and these three strong electrolytes, so this can be written as ionic conductivity of ammonium ion plus ionic conductivity of chloride ion, and similarly this is ionic conductivity of sodium ion, ionic conductivity of Cl minus ion, this is ionic conductivity of sodium ion plus ionic conductivity of OH minus ion. Now these have got some particular value which can be determined. Suppose this is equal to x and this value is y and this value is z, some numerical values. Now you can see these equations can be solved like algebraical equations. If you add these two, that means x plus y, x plus z if you do, and subtract the y. Subtracting y means we have to take the sign here. Subtracting y, Na and Na get cancelled and Cl get cancelled. Okay, and we'll get ionic conductivity of ammonium ion and ionic conductivity of hydroxyl ion, which will be the value of molar conductivity at infinite dilution of ammonium hydroxide. So by knowing molar conductivity or limiting molar conductivity values of three different strong electrolytes, we can able to find out molar conductivity at infinite dilution of a weak electrolyte. This is how the Kohlrausch's law can be applied to find out, right? So this is how we are able to do. So there is one more application of this. This molar conductivity at infinite dilution also is related to the degree of dissociation of a weak electrolyte. Degree of dissociation is fraction, and this can be determined by molar conductivity at that concentration divided molar conductivity at infinite dilution. So this is the larger value or largest value for an electrolyte. Therefore this is always a fraction, and alpha will give you the degree of dissociation can be calculated experimentally by using this expression. Once you know the alpha value, you can able to find out the dissociation constant K value. By knowing the concentration and degree of dissociation, you can able to find out dissociation constant of a weak electrolyte, and this is how the formula can be made use of. Now check your understanding. The conductivity of 0.2m solution of KCl at 298 Kelvin is 0.0248 S per centimeter. Calculate the molar conductivity. So recall what is the formula to be used for finding out this. So it is relating conductivity and conductance, right? And molar conductivity. It is about molar conductivity. You know that molar conductivity lambda m is equal to kappa into 1000 divided by molarity. So this is the formula to be recalled. Now, once you know the molarity, that is 0.2m denominator, the kappa value, conductivity value is 0.0248, this is here, and this substitution will get the answer of that, right? So kappa value and C value is being given. So kappa into 1000 divided by C will give you, that is 124 S centimeter square per mole is the answer. Let us see another question. The conductivity of metals decreases while that of the electrolyte increases with the increase in temperature. Why? So it is because when you are conducting through the metal, there will be set of positively charged species. I mean some set of electrons which are strongly held to the nucleus together called kernels. And kernels start vibrating at high temperature. When they are vibrating, they will give a hindrance to the flow of electrons, and because of that resistance increases. Therefore, conductivity of the metal decreases. Resistance increases, conductivity of the metal decreases. But in case of electrolytes, the temperature increases the mobility of the ions. Therefore, it increases. Right? So, this is the answer to that. Increase in temperature increases the mobility of ions, and therefore conductance value increases. As you know that conductance of electrolyte is due to ions, and when mobility of the ions increases, conductivity value increases. So let us take one example of question. So this is one answer correct type of question. Which of the statement about the solution of electrolyte is not correct? Is not correct. So conductivity of solution depends upon the size of ions. Conductivity depends upon viscosity of the solution. Conductivity does not depend upon the solvation of ion present in the solution. Conductivity of solution increases with temperature. Increases with temperature. Now, what would be the answer for this? So, this is conductivity does not depend upon the solvation of ion present in the solution. It is not correct. Right? So, there is one answer type. Which of the statements about solution is not correct? Right? It depends upon the solvation. It does not depend is being given. Therefore, it is a wrong statement. Now, coming to the another question. Conductivity of an electrolytic solution depends upon nature of electrolyte, concentration of electrolyte, power of AC source, distance between the electrodes. Right? This is more than one answer type of correct. One answer correct type question. So there may be more than one correct answer. So this depends upon, conductivity depends upon nature of electrolyte, and also it depends upon concentration. As the concentration increases, conductivity increases. Concentration increases, conductivity increases, kappa value increases, but lambda ion decreases. That is a thing to be remembered. Concentration. So 1 and 2 both are the answers of this. Now let you have a homework of finding out dissociation constant, which is being told at the end of the class there, and also you have an assignment which is being taken here, because after the completion of a chapter you are required to do some more numericals and some more questions to be solved. Okay, till then keep solving the questions, and whenever the possible, you just ask the question through the means that you have. Thank you for all your cooperation. Thank you.